Hey guys, welcome back to another session of Restoration Mastery. Today we're going to teach you how to become a bus driver. Boom! Guys, welcome back. And today we wanted to talk about how to manage your company from the standpoint of the Good to Great book by Jim Collins. If you haven't picked up the book, you've got to pick it up. If you've read it, then you understand the concept of being able to drive this bus, being the company, right? And how to get the wrong people off the bus and the right people on the bus and in the right seats. And so that basically alludes to employees in the book for sure, but we wanted to expand on that and really talk about the clients that we serve, right? Are they the ideal clients that we want to serve? And even also the affiliates that we work with, are they the right affiliates that we want to work with? And then in addition to that, the customer, the end user, is that person qualified to fit in the bus the way that we've designed it and the way that we know runs best? So I know that's a lot to try to jump into, but let's give it a shot.
Absolutely. So I would say that the first thing that you need to be able to tell yourself as a bus driver, regardless of whether we're talking about your employees, your referral sources, or your insureds, is that you have to remember that you are the one in the driver's seat. That this is not a bus that you got on, that you wandered onto by accident. You are here by design. And nothing, and if anyone gets off the bus, it's not like the bus driver has to quit his or her job. They just keep going down the route to where they're headed. People are going to get on and people are going to get off, and that's okay. And you've got to get to that place where you're emotionally okay with that. I would say that of the three, we tend to be the easiest with respect to our employees in terms of letting them get on and off. We don't...
Or try not to let them off.
I mean, we hate firing people. We hate seeing people go. I would say that we're much less likely to kick a referral source off of our bus or to say no to an insured. And one of the big reasons for that, I think, is fear. Is a fear of, hey, what if I tell this person no, I'll never get another customer again.
Yeah. And so I wanted to touch on the employees really quick, right? Because I know that feels like it's one of the most difficult things to do. When you have an employee, if you're a leader, a manager, an influencer in your company, it's tough, man. It's tough to have to let someone go that you know in your heart, like that person is not fitting the culture, or that person is not doing what they are supposed to be doing, yet everyone else is carrying some of the baggage that they're leaving behind, right? And so there's more weight on everyone else, and you've got someone who's not producing, or just not part of the culture, and everyone knows it. Whether you know it or not, everyone already knows it. And so one of the most difficult things to do, and we've had to do it, a few times, is we have to sit down and we have to let people go. And it's doesn't feel good, but it's good for you. It's good for the company. And the reality is as a leader, business owner, manager, if you don't take this seriously, your position and your job, no one's going to take it more serious than you. And so if you let the employees kind of dictate to you their attitudes and how they're going to do it and not really listen to how it's supposed to be run, and you let the children run around and do what they have to do, you're going to lose control. You lose control, and then ultimately your reputation begins to suffer. And so that's one of the most difficult things that we've had to do, but I think that's one of the most challenging things for a business owner to have to deal with. And so it taps into hiring properly is so important for this just one reason. Like I hate firing people. Like, do not put me in that position. I freaking hate it. But it has to happen because I made a hiring mistake, right? And so that's the way I look at it. And so hiring correctly, we drag this process out, take more time, interview differently, so we can make sure that, okay, I don't want to be in the position to have to fire this person, right? So,
and I think in reality, we talk about it being the best thing for the business owner and the business. I would say that it tends also to be the best thing for the employee. And while I wouldn't recommend saying that in their exit interview, hey, this is the best thing I could have done for you is to fire you, at the end of the day, what ends up happening is 5 years from now, there's a very good chance that person will look back on you terminating them as the best thing that ever happened to them because it led them to whatever they go to next. Yeah. The Buddhists have this quote that the obstacle is the path. The obstacle is the path. So whatever gets in your way, actually, it becomes a part of your journey. It becomes something that drives you and pushes you and actually builds you up in a way that you would have never experienced. You think back on your first breakup. It was hard, it was terrible, but it taught you what to really look for in a loving relationship. The loss of a parent teaches us the value of life. Or in our business, what we see all the time is when people lose everything they own, they start to really get a good understanding for what actually matters in their life. And so for someone to lose their job, it forces them to look at themselves in a new way, maybe develop new skills, change their attitude, develop a different persona, or maybe even launch their own business, and it could be the best thing that ever happens.
Absolutely. And to kind of go back into the most difficult part of, one of the most difficult parts of being an owner is that you have to let people go. But when you do, the rest of the staff is going to say, what do they normally say?
Yeah, finally, it's about time.
Dude, everyone already knows, right? And it's about time. Why would you let it go that long? But here's why we let it go that long is because we're selfish. We think thoughts like, shoot, if I let that person go, that means that I've got to now do this. I don't have time for that. You know what? I'm just going to throw more money at them or do something just to kind of keep them here because I don't want my life to be more stressful. Yet, at the same time, you're poisoning your own company. And so things to be mindful of. That's really one of the trickiest parts.
All right, so guys, next week, stay tuned for part 2 where we'll be talking about getting clients and insureds off of your bus, which is crazy as that sounds.
That's right.
You're going to be excited to hear what we talk about. Until next week.
Be courageous and live with passion.
Peace.
Peace.